Alright, so today we're doing something a little bit different from what I usually do on my channel. Today I'm going to share a little bit of my life with you guys here on video, and I'm going to show you my entire Jordan collection. Usually Jordan collectors collect any shoe that goes from the model number 1 to the model number 13, and this is because these were the shoes that Michael Jordan wore during his career. That's not completely correct as a statement, but we're gonna accept it as correct. Some people also collect the shoes that go from 1 to 15, and this is because these were the shoes that were actually designed by Tinker Hatfield. This is also not a completely correct statement, but it doesn't matter. There are, however, 35 models of the Jordan, plus all the variations and different colorways and different editions of the same model. So it's an infinity of shoes that people can own. I have at least one pair for each of the models from 1 to 15. Now, bear in mind, this is my Jordan collection, is not my entire sneaker collection. I do have a bunch of other sneakers which are not Jordans. I decided to make this video because on my Instagram I often share when I buy a pair of shoes. I post a story, I post a picture, and I was very pleased to find out that a lot of people that follow me and that I interact with also have love for sneakers. And so I'm thinking in the future to incorporate some of the videos about sneakers and about other things on my channel, because it's a good way to interact and to build rapport with my community. Anyway, if you know me in person, you've probably noticed that the stuff that I tend to wear, it's loud, it's very, how can we put it? It's like, I love colors, I love things that people go like, oh my god, look at that t-shirt, or oh my god, look at those shoes. You wanna call them crazy, you wanna call them, I don't know, call them whatever you like. But yeah, that's what I do. I love collecting shoes. This is something that I've had for the longest of times. I remember my very first nice shoes that my mom bought for me. I remember that I was like 11 years old, and they were a pair of Chuck Taylors, fake Chuck Taylors, orange with the white star inside. And then the first real pair of Nike that I got, I was, I think, maybe 12, and they were a pair of Agassi shoes. I think they were called the Air Tech Challenge, I might be wrong, purple, orange and white. And then the first basketball shoe that I got, they were a pair of, I wanna say Flight Solo or Flight Maestro, the ones. I don't really remember, it's a little bit of a fuzzy memory. But anyway, that's a story maybe for another video. Now let me just share my entire Jordan collection, and I don't know, maybe you like it. Now bear in mind that some of these shoes are a little bit expensive, and if you look them up on the internet, you will see that I have spent quite a bit of money. But you know, I don't have a lot of other passions. This is probably the stuff that I spend most of my money on. Don't judge me, I do have friends who are musicians who spend like tens of thousands in synthesizers, new guitars, new instruments. So, you know, we all have our thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Alright, so enough. Take a look at my collection, let me know what you think. Okay, so let's start with the Jordan 1 released in 1985. This shoe was designed by legendary Nike designer Peter Moore. It is an iconic design. I have personally the Jordan David Letterman edition. It is orange. The color is based on the tracksuit that Jordan wore during an interview with Letterman in 1986. Crazy color, I love these shoes. The next pair I have is a Jordan 1 Low in the white and red colorway. These shoes showed up at the outlet. I paid maybe 40 bucks for them. I love the colors, they remind me a little bit of the Dunk Lows, which are also shoes that I love. Next is a pair of mids in the reverse band colorway. Real sneaker collectors do not like the mids because they're considered to be the mainstream pairs of Jordan. I still love the colors, so I don't really care. The next pair is the Jordan 1 Travis Scott. This is my own grail, the shoe that I've paid for the most. There are only 16,000 pairs, I think, of this shoe. Travis Scott is one of my favorite artists. I love these shoes. I had to buy them even if it was at resale price. But I do have to make a confession, I'm not sure whether or not these shoes are fake. I will make a separate video about these shoes because I do have reasons to think that they might be fake, which might be a huge disappointment, but hey, we'll talk about this in another video. Next in the collection are the Jordans 2 designed by Bruce Kilgore, the guy who made the Air Force, another legendary shoe of Nike. I have the infrared colorway. This shoe is not one of my favorite shoes. Jordan was about to quit his contract with Nike because of these shoes. He just did not like the first design that was released, and if it wasn't for Tinker Hatfield who designed the Jordan 3, then maybe Jordan as a brand would have gone to Adidas and the sneaker market would not look the way it does today. I got my very first pair of 3s in 1995, I think. At the time the shoe was released as a retro and it did not sell at all, at least in Italy. I got my first pair for the equivalent of 50 bucks of today, and my friends made fun of me because they thought it was a shoe for poor people since it looked like an old shoe. Right now I have the red cement, this was a present from my wife, and the crimson colorway, which is, in my opinion, one of the best colorways for this shoe, beside of course the black cement. Then the Jordan 4, famous for the movie Do the Right Thing of Spike Lee. I have the neon colorway. This specific shoe was created to bridge the gap between the street culture in Europe and in the US. In the US, basketball sneakers are more popular, and this pair of Jordan is based on the colorway of the Nike Air Max 95, which is pretty much one of the most important shoes for street culture in Europe. And it's the only pair of 4s that I have. Then there is the Jordan 5. This shoe was made famous by the Fresh Prince Will Smith. I remember watching the show and loving the shoes that Will Smith was wearing. I have 4 pairs of the 5s. It is definitely one of my favorite Jordan. I have the What The model with these crazy combinations of colors and models from different types of Jordan 5s. This shoe ended up in the outlet because it's not a pair of shoes that it's easy to wear. Then I have the Leanie, which is the blue model representing the colors of the team where Jordan played during high school. Then the Fire Red, which is one of the OG colorways. And then the Grape, which is the one worn by Will Smith during the Fresh Prince. Next we have the Jordan 6. This Jordan is the first shoe with which Jordan won an NBA championship. I have the Travis Scott model. Believe it or not, this shoe ended up in the outlet in Europe because it looks like a hiking boot and a lot of people did not like it, so they returned it. I initially bought it on StockX, then my order got cancelled, and luckily enough I found a guy in Vienna who sold me a pair on Instagram for a lot less money. Then there is the Jordan 7. I only have the Reflection of a Champion colorway. I honestly thought that this shoe would look a lot better in this colorway, but I'm not sure about it anymore. I was only 12 at the time that the captain of our team had it. It is the first real engineered basketball shoe designed by Nike. It had the Huarache technology inside for a tight fit, and it was the lightest Jordan shoe ever designed. Then there is the Jordan 8. This is the Take Flight edition, all black with the crossover stripes to keep the laces tight. Great shoe, the last shoe worn by Jordan before retiring for the first time in 1994. Then Jordan took an 18 months break. During that time, the Jordan brand released the model number 9. I have it in the OG colorway. As a kid, I was often going to the sports shop in my town to take a look at these shoes because they had a beautiful silhouette. The shop was in a very dodgy area, and I got mugged a few times outside of that place just because I wanted to go and take a look at these shoes. It is an icon of the 90s. During Jordan's retirement, Nike released also the Jordan 10. I have the retro shadow version of 2018. This shoe, together with the 9, were the first non-performance shoes that Nike would release for the Jordan brand. I use this shoe mainly to go to the field with my dog. They're pretty beat up. I'm looking for a new pair to buy, but this is not a shoe that I'm particularly fond of, so don't judge me. Then there is the Jordan 11. I have it in the bread colorway. Originally this shoe was released in the Concord colorway. This shoe was my first love. As a kid, this is the shoe that I saved all of my money for. Christmas money, birthday money, all my allowance. I bought this shoe in summer 1996. Then again, I got a pair in 2019. I do not wear them because the toe box peels off easily, and it's a shame. It is an item that I own as a collector rather. After 1 year that Jordan came back on the field in 1996, he won a championship in these shoes. Then there is the Jordan 12. I have it in the gym red colorway. This shoe is very comfortable. This is a shoe that is not too big amongst collectors. Certainly it has its own fans and people who love them, but it's not a shoe that a lot of people go crazy for. Then there is the Jordan 13. This is the last shoe worn by Jordan before he retired again for the second time. Jordan would return later on to play for the Wizards in Washington in 2002. He was wearing the Jordan 17, I think, but this is irrelevant for now. Now the Model 13, I have them in the Chinese New Year colorway, crazy shoe. Nike creates shoes to celebrate the Chinese New Year every time, and these Jordans were so unpopular that they ended up in the outlet. I love the pink, fantastic color. If you know me, you probably know that I love pink. Then I also have the Flint colorway. These shoes also ended up in the outlet. I was able to get a pair for I think 80 or 90 bucks. Then there is the Jordan 14 called The Last Shot. This shoe was worn only once by Jordan in the last game where he scored the winning point against the Utah Jazz. This is why they're called The Last Shot. I have them in the reversed Ferrari colorway. I'm not super fond of these shoes, to be honest. At the time, Jordan was into cars, he loved Ferraris, and he wanted to have a shoe that was inspired by the shoes the pilots wear during a race. I found these shoes online for 50 bucks. They were used, and this is why I got them. Then there is the Jordan 15. This shoe is sleek, it's beautiful. A lot of people hate this shoe. When Jordan released this shoe, the brand was about to collapse. Fans were not happy about it. Jordan never even wore these shoes on the field because he retired. And it was because of this shoe that the Jordan brand decided to start retroing the old Jordan models and save the brand. I personally love the shape. I think it's really cool. And you know what? It's one of the favorite shoes of Billie Eilish. Now, I also have other Jordan models that are not part of the classical retro collection. These are the Spezique, inspired by the work of Spike Lee. I have two models, the 40 Acres Court Purple. This is a shoe that has elements from the Jordans 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very interesting shoe. And then I also have the Sons of Mars in the Lava colorway. This shoe reminds me of the Yeezy designed by Kanye West for Nike. I know it's a long shot to compare these, but they look really cool and I love them. Then I have two pairs of Legacy Jordan. One is the Mid in the bread cement colorway. This is a shoe made to celebrate the legacy with the Alpha Force, which is the shoe that Jordan wore instead of the Jordan 2 that he hated. It is said that Tinker Hatfield based the design of the Jordan 3 on this shoe. Then I also have the High Piston colorway. If you have watched The Last Dance, you know that there was not so much love between the Pistons and the Bulls. So when this Jordan shoe was released, ended up straight into the outlet. I was able to get a pair for 40 bucks, I think, which is crazy because they look amazing. Then I have a pair of Jumpman Hustle. This is a performance shoe and I bought it just because it was like 30 bucks. Very cheap. I found it online. They're a bit tight. Performance shoes from Nike are always a bit tighter than normal. So if you do find a pair, just make sure that you buy it a size bigger. Then I got a pair of Delta Unions. Very underrated shoe. Not a classical, but definitely a beautiful shoe to wear. Last, I have two pairs of Proto Max 720 Jordan. This shoe also showed up at the outlet. I was able to snatch two pairs in two different colorways for less than half the price. Incredibly cheap, and I still think that it's a very underrated shoe. Very bulky, very contemporary. I really like them, and I think that's it. I might be forgetting some other shoes because maybe I have another 30 or 40 pairs laying around the house. So this is my entire Air Jordan collection. As I told you, this is not my full sneakers collection. I still have a lot of other pairs that I could show you. Let me know what you think about this kind of video. I plan to do some similar videos in the future. Anyway, I hope you like it. Leave a comment, let me know. Thanks a lot for watching. Talk to you guys next time.